They lied.
Yeah.
You're not keeping CCP.
No.
You killed CCP. It's over.
Yeah.
This is Byron, Lazine, and Nicole White, and you're tuned into episode 360 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
Nicole, 1 hour. I think it was
know.
less than an hour.
It was less. I think I got downstairs and then you texted me.
You hadn't even made it downstairs.
I hadn't even made it out of the office.
Well, we're going to be able to recap a lot because 1 hour after last week's podcast, the news broke on clear cooperation. So we're going to dive into that. Clear cooperation has happened. And our last podcast was great. It was that part-time agent stats. I'm glad we covered that because we probably would have glazed over it.
Oh, for sure.
And I think those part-time casual agent stats.
Well, and then
full-time.
what would we have talked about this week? You know.
Well, there's still a lot.
I know
we have
there
a ton
is a
to talk
lot.
about.
I know
actually,
you're
so
giving a deadline to this. So
we're going to talk about clear cooperation. Maybe some different, information now that we've given it a week. It's probably good has come out to suggest that clear cooperation is basically dead. It doesn't exist anymore, despite how NAR has packaged that. So we'll explain that. NAR's let go of 61 positions.
You love it.
In an organizational revamp. Do I stay? I'll let you know if I do love it or not.
Uh-oh.
And then this number was bigger than I would have expected. The next acquisition to be. But I didn't see this acquisition necessarily coming. So Rocket Companies acquires Mr. Cooper. It's a $9.4 billion mega deal. Makes the Redfin deal look like an appetizer. And I'm not talking colossal shrimp appetizer.
You're talking like a bean dip?
Like vinaigrette oysters.
Like a spinach artichoke dip?
Happy hour vinaigrette.
I love spinach artichoke. I buy it every time I go out.
If
it's on the menu.
Vinaigrette oyster is small, and you could have like a big main oyster. They're gonna be big and but a vinaigrette, Rhode Island.
I don't think they cost
small.
less though.
You're right. So maybe that's the bad.
No,
so
they might just be smaller.
Your crappy artichoke.
I love
dip.
this. I mean, I'll take that crappy artichoke dip every day. Yeah.
There's anytime you get artichoke dip at dinner, there's always a portion of it going in the trash because not everybody wants artichoke dip. That's typically how it goes.
I think I ate a whole dish last night.
All right. Where should we start? We start with the 61 and then we'll go clear cooperation.
However you want to do that.
Let's start with
go.
the 61. 61 employees of NAR have been shown the door. These terminations are effective immediately.
Well, okay.
Well, what?
Okay.
What did I say something wrong?
No, he did it right.
NAR announced revamping of an internal structure, and it's creating
41 existing positions and 20 open roles. Yeah.
20 open roles. Yeah. So there's 61 roles that are impacted. 41 people shown the door effective immediately. I'm sure they're getting some type of severance and all that. We're not really getting much information on that. Thank you, NAR. 20 open roles. Like what did we have open roles for to begin with? Here are the cuts and the departments that are impacted. Creative and content strategy. Thank God.
Number 1.
Thank you.
They've been listening.
Content, creative. You guys had creative strategy?
Take a deep breath. They got rid of it.
Okay. Digital strategy.
Yep.
Public relations and communications.
Yep.
I don't know. Communications seem to be lacking. We'll get into one of the new hires.
Well, but if they're revamping, maybe they're ditching and then.
Yeah. We'll say meetings and events, member development, human resources. Who needs HR with all the
scandal, with all the allegations,
with all the internal stories?
Maybe that is the problem. Maybe because there is an HR, that's why there's the problem. We don't have an HR here. We love it.
That I am the HR. Member engagement. Member experience, research, finance, and IT. Okay. Nykia Wright, CEO. I'll be looking forward to hopefully chatting with Nykia when I see her in June. I'm speaking at the gathering.
What does that mean? But I thought they got rid of events. Maybe that's
no, it's not their event.
Oh, okay. I was
going to
say you're canceled. They canceled you.
And you know, I'm going to try to get her.
You're done.
To
she doesn't
chat.
even show her face. She's usually just like on a screen.
Well, no, she did. She's
probably. You think she's AI?
No, I think what she's doing with the new leadership moves that we're going to get into is really smart. I'll tell you why. So. Her statement was the industry is changing. It's our responsibility to lead and change with it. As we continue managing our finances to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow, we need to invest in the best people, adopt the right processes, and apply the most advanced, cost-effective technology while remaining prudent financial stewards of the enterprise. If you're going to invest in the right people, you can invest in the not the best people.
Right.
So are these 40 people not the best? Hey guys, we'll get you right back to the pod in a second. Thank you so much for checking out The Real Word every single week. If you'd like to check out more of what we do at BAM, jump into BAMX. We just moved over to School. It's the #1 community and education platform in the world. It's school.com/BAMX to join our group. I'll drop a link right down below. Now enjoy the rest of the pod. They're certainly not. It would have been kept because she says we need to keep the best people. They've reshaped their leadership team. This is very smart of Nykia Wright. She has now taken a full-time position as CEO. You do this position for 5, 6, 7 years, you could take care of your family for life. Okay, Nykia hasn't been forthcoming on what her current salary is, if it's gone down. I can't imagine it has. It's probably gone up.
Of course.
It goes up every year as
that's
past
why
CEOs have.
That's why I think we're taking the fat away. You got to maintain.
Salary. But what she's done here is really smart with this leadership team. She's built it around the people who are showing her loyalty, who are supporting her to be in the long-term role. It's smart for her.
Yeah, it's like a cabinet.
I mean, if you're in it for Nykia Wright, this is brilliant. So Matthew Sinadella, he's the financial officer. He was named chief financial officer.
This is going to be fun to hear you say these names.
Jonathan Wakolski, promoted general counsel, senior VP legal. Jared Grasso, typical Northeast last name. Hired, I don't know if he's Northeast guy, but hired senior VP industry relations. Sherry Chris, we talked about this. I don't know how many pods back. It feels like 2 months ago. Haley, look that up. When did we talk about Sherry Chris being appointed as a special advisor of brokerages? When she got appointed 2 months ago, very well decorated, accomplished broker. It was supposed to be for open communications with members. So there's a link
on that. January 6th is when now BAM's.
January 6th.
Yeah.
It's April 1st.
Yeah.
3 months ago. Have you heard anything else from Sherry Chris in 3 months?
No. She's the special advisor.
We know that. We said that 3 months ago.
I know, in January.
Sherry Chris, definitely a supporter of Nykia Wright. Smart for Nykia Wright to insulate herself. Sharon White.
What would we hear from her? What would we hear though?
Well, if you look,
if she's an advisor, like if I'm just like your hype guy, like you're not going to hear from me.
Here's what Nykia Wright said. Sherry brings unmatched expertise and a unique, well-informed perspective on the real estate brokerage landscape. I agree. She's got a ton of experience over decades. This experience that she speaks of, she says, quote, will be critical as we enhance NAR's collabo with industry partners and drive stronger strategic alignment across the sector. Her ability to build meaningful connections and offered forward-thinking perspectives will help guide NAR approach into the real estate community. And here's Sherry's quote herself. I'm honored to work alongside Nykia and the leadership team. Such an important time. My goal is to better understand the concerns and priorities of brokerage leaders across the country and help create solutions that drive trust, value, and collaboration for the many important stakeholders in real estate.
Are you reading that from January 6th?
I'm reading that from January 6th.
So, but her role's now changed. She used to be an advisor to Nikita, and now she's an advisor of brokerages.
Well, I think it's the same thing.
Oh, we're just dancing around it. We're doing like a salad. Whatever, salad, a word salad.
They gave a new title. Whatever. Yeah. It's the same job.
Yeah.
The key areas of focus would be needs and concerns from brokers. This is back in January. Fostering open dialogue. And this is what NAR said. One of her primary objectives will be create opportunities for open communication between NAR and its industry partners. I agree. Let's get the open dialogue going. We haven't seen that yet. It's been 3 months. Maybe a lot of the work behind the scenes is, more strategic than I know. Sharon White named Chief Human Resource Officer. Sharon McGain, been around a long time, elevated Executive VP and Chief Advocacy Officer. And Mark Bursback promoted Executive VP. So these new leadership moves have created a buffer around Nykia, right? It's all people that she trusts. They have, I will give credit where credit's due. You have doged NAR a little bit. You got rid of 40 positions. Let's reduce that $50 million media spend, because you can still reduce these positions and give a third party, which is what they do, $50 million. What I'd like to see is
you want to just remove that line completely.
I want to remove that line. It's a complete waste. It doesn't actually drive in the hot sheet. No, not in the hot sheet. In the BAMX role play session, BAMX members get access to live role plays, by the way, school.com/BAMX if you want in this morning's...
ByronLazine.com.
Don't go there because you won't be able to sign up for BAMX. But I play this clip of Cody Sanchez. Have you seen her online? She buys businesses.
No.
So she buys all these businesses. And she was talking about calling 3 agents, and she was saying realtors, you say, instead of realtors, like they've spent $50 million a year, and you've got somebody who, she's really smart, she's an intelligent person, and she sounds like, she doesn't know what the heck she's saying because she's mispronouncing it. So $50 million a year doesn't even get somebody to pronounce the name right.
Well, it's funny because someone just sent me this link. It was completely unrelated, but it was from oh gosh, what's that show? It doesn't even matter. Forget it, because I can't even remember the name of the show.
Well, tell us the story, because
he's a real estate agent. It's like back in the what's the hell's the show? Anyway, he was talking about.
Maybe we can flash it here when you remember.
Yeah. I'll remember it. But in the clip, it was just like he had gone to the neighbor and was like, you're doing this illegally in your backyard, whatever. And she's like, what are you, a real estate agent or something? And the sister-in-law goes, no, he's a realtor. And there's a difference. I just don't know what it is.
Oh, we have to play that clip. You'll find that clip. I
have it. I'll send it to you.
I've seen that clip. That's a well-known clip. I don't know the show, but
why am I blanking on the friggin' show?
She's like, and there is a difference.
I just don't know the difference.
Nobody knows the difference.
B, you should put that beauty in your garage.
I don't have one.
Oh, really? Just out of curiosity, do you not have a garage because you converted it into the guest house where your grandson's currently showering?
What's your game, mister?
I just find it interesting that you have a fully plumbed standalone dwelling on your property.
That's none of your business.
Even more peculiar, your grandson appears to live here, but judging by his T-shirt, he goes to Eden Mills High, an elite public school 12 miles outside of your district. Oh, maybe with the money you saved on private schools, you paid for the new 2-sided brick fireplace I saw, which hasn't been legal since 1988.
Go, Phil, go!
Pull the sauce, Big Al. Or Monday morning, the city's here with a bulldozer, and your grandson goes to a school with a metal detector.
How do you know all this? What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
Oh, he's a realtor. There is a difference somehow.
That's the point. $50 million. So here's what I would do, NAR, and then we'll move on from this.
Yeah.
I'd remove the $50 million media spend, because consumers don't know the difference of the difference between realtor and realtor or real estate agent. Or I'd at least reduce dramatically, reimagine. I'd continue to doge. I give you credit for doging the employees. We don't need. Nykia says we need the best people, so I agree with that. If we don't have the best people, get rid of the people who are not the best. But I would. The third thing I would do, and this is where you gain trust back from your members, is I would create massive amounts of open dialogue between your members. So, you've got Sherry Chris, who's appointed to be this open dialoguer, this special advisor. Like, create multiple town halls. BAM would love to host live town halls. we'd be able to drive a much more engaged audience than NAR could.
Hopefully now that she has these people around her and that she's feeling like maybe she's got the right people in the right spots, she'll feel more comfortable doing that.
Everything should be open communication.
Yeah.
I'm the CEO. Here's where my salary. You're going to know what my salary is in 2 years because it's public information. Here's what my salary is today. You don't have to wait the 2 years. Here's why I'm keeping it at this, or here's why I've reduced it. Here's why I've chosen to go down.
Right.
Here's why I'm making these hires and insulating this group around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to answer the questions. I'm going to stop when she does answer questions. A lot of times she says, I have a fiduciary responsibility to do that, and then just stops. It's like, stop overusing the word fiduciary. Explain yourself.
Yeah.
You've got people in the highest positions of power doing press conferences every single day from the Oval Office.
Because they should.
And NAR, you can't do more than one a quarter. We haven't heard from Sherry. Listen, I want to hear from Sherry. We haven't heard from her in 3 months. I'm sure there's conversations closed doors. This is how NAR got themselves, being not trusted by their members. And you can look at a number of different surveys. BAM's done them. 1000 Watts done them. There's so many different, we just saw one with Resi Club did one. There is no trust with the members. So build the trust by really having this open communication. All right, let's get into the NAR decision now to change to update clear cooperation. Here's how they spun it. Their spun is NAR.
They're spun. They
spun it this way.
Yeah.
NAR keeps clear cooperation while adding on a new MLS policy. Okay. All right. So the new MLS policy allows a seller to instruct their agent to delay public marketing of the listing through IDX and syndication. We have that delayed form already.
Yep.
So we use that all the time.
Well, you have to, because if you're signing a listing and you don't have photos yet.
Right.
Yeah.
It's silly. Like, why would I put a listing on MLS in 24 hours so that it can not be marketed the best way? The delay window will be determined by each local MLS based on what aligns. Like, we found that window can be pretty wide.
I mean, usually I just have them sign it and then I fill it in when I know what day it's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
During the delayed marketing period, the listing remains accessible to MLS participants through the MLS platform. I don't know if that happens.
No, of course not.
No. A seller disclosure is required, of course. You're signing a listing, blah, blah, blah. All right, so NAR made this decision, more options for sellers, buyer need for access, and of course, legal risk mitigation. That being the biggest reason they rode the fence on this thing. So what's ultimately happened, and our buddy Notorious ROB writes about this, what's really happened is now that they've kind of said, hey, you can do some of these things over here. We're keeping CCP. Rob said CCP is not dead. It's just resting. It really doesn't mean anything right now. And then,
it's resting. It's taking a nap.
It's resting. It's taking a nap, a long nap. Okay. Section 101.01 of clear cooperation. And Rob breaks this down on his Substack. Within 1 business day of marketing the property to the public, the listing broker must submit the listing to the MLS for cooperation and other MLS participants. Public marketing includes, but is not limited to, flyers displayed in windows. Who the heck buys a house with a flyer displayed? Why are we talking about that? Yard signs, digital marketing on public-facing websites, brokerage website displays, including IDX and VOW. There's a big difference here. Digital communication, I'll get back to IDX versus VOW. Digital communications, marketing, email blasts, brokerage, listing, sharing networks, and applications.
So they want
available.
it on MLS as a delayed if you're sending out an email.
If you're doing any of those things, basically, that
or putting a flyer in your window,
would constitute as public marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, with the new multiple listing options for sellers, which is this new clear cooperation rule, you get this. A delayed marketing exempt listing can be shown on a VOW display. Or the question is, can it? Yes. A VOW display, which I'll explain in a second, is not for advertisement, but rather to help with the provision of brokerage services to consumers with whom there is an established broker-consumer relationship. A VOW display if we go to NAR's website here for what is a VOW display, it's a virtual office website. Okay. Virtual office website, VOW, refers to a participant's internet website or a feature of a participant's internet website through which the participant is capable of providing real estate brokerage services to consumers. So your website.
Right. Because, I mean, is there a non-internet website?
Compass.com as an example.
Yeah.
With the new Clear Cooperation, the door is wide open for them to do broker exclusives on their site. And that does not constitute as breaking the first rule of Clear Cooperation, which is once you go public marketing, there's no flyers displayed in windows. That would be silly.
So as long as you don't have a
anyways.
sign in front of the house.
No sign, no digital marketing on public facing websites, digital communications, email blasts, la, 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 la. So if you read between the lines of where we're at, it appears that brokerages, it's a little gray, but it appears brokerages can display their office exclusive via VOW, despite what the original CCP says. So when NAR came out and said, we're keeping CCP, but we're making this one change,
it like negates it.
they lied.
Yeah.
You're not keeping CCP.
No.
You killed CCP. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Now, maybe you thought nobody would notice and nobody would be paying attention, and we would just go with, oh, CCP still exists. There's this delayed marketing thing, so I'll go into consumers and tell them 100% of all properties should be on the MLS, and this is how you're going to do it. We can delay it so we can get everything done. In reality, that's not the case at all.
Right.
And it's gonna get even, I think.
Feels like a web. Like we're in like this weird web.
I think it's going to get even more obvious. You've got Compass clients now who have signaled legal action against the Northwest MLS, Washington MLS. Okay, against the backdrop of an ongoing feud between Compass and Northwest MLS Services, a group identifying as clients, this is out of Inman, of the brokerage have taken the first steps toward an apparent class action lawsuit against the MLS. The possibility of litigation was raised over the weekend on a website called Washington Homeowner Rights. The site asks homeowners if they've sold a property in Washington and experienced a price drop or significant days on market, or if they were forced to compromise your privacy or security just to get your home sold. So more to come, obviously, if that's,
Oh boy.
website's going to get any, or that website potential legal action is going to get anywhere. But the website says it's representing nearly 100 million in residential sales. They believe were damaged by the current rules and practices of the Northwest MLS. NAR said something when they came out with this new Clear Cooperation. They want to mitigate litigation. They don't want to be involved in litigation anymore.
It sounds like they sparked one here.
They've shown us that they have no... Listen, I'm not even taking a position in everything I've said on for Clear Cooperation or against. A lot of people have taken a very distinctive position, but it is pretty clear. What is clear, agents, we all want and need more listings. We want to be able to capture the business from our clients. So it means we need to stay in front of them, front and center when they're thinking about real estate, when they're making a real estate decision. So I love what Reminder Media is doing for agents across the country, producing high quality physical and digital magazines where you can tell a full story about what's going on in your community, what's happening in the market, and reminding people that you are the expert that they should be reaching out to when it comes to making a real estate decision. Reminder Media is a resource that you need in your corner to stay in front of your clients. You also get a free sample magazine by using the link that I'll put right down below. Check out Reminder Media and everything that they have to offer you and helping you stay in front of your clients. Is that the only thing that's going to win out here is going to be that free market decision. You can make the argument that not being on the MLS is a really bad decision for most sellers. And I think most sellers, when given the choice,
Will agree.
are going to agree and go with that decision. It just, to me, I mean, I wouldn't, by the way, I've tried to sell properties off market.
And they're saying no because they want to owe you yourself.
Madison completely failed. Nicole had to step in and say, why aren't we on the MLS?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing? She sold it in like 24 hours for me in a multiple bid situation. I got every penny that I wanted, and I didn't have to deal with a moron on the other end.
Easy.
So, yeah, it makes no sense not to be going IDX. But what is clear a week later is clear cooperation doesn't remain NAR. Just say the truth. It's dead. If private exclusives on a website can exist, then clear cooperation does not exist.
So this is where
it's one or the other.
This is where they should be having conversations, because they now should be at least explaining it to the agents exactly what this all means, what they can now do, what they should now do. But there's no really any real education around it.
Well, they did put a one-page release on the website.
Okay.
And
I guess unless you're really following it, it's very interesting.
It is what it is. It doesn't exist anymore, so just say it. Like, don't come up with cute titles. Clear cooperation still exists. We'll put this chart here up. So they're calling this, options of selling your home. Option 1, office exclusive exempt listing, neither publicly marketed nor shared on the MLS. Listen, the next option would be delayed marketing exempt listing. That gets you that it becomes publicly available when it advertised through the IDX. So when you get it, you need to have the delayed because you can't put a listing on the MLS for one day. And what you also have is basically this option, this office exclusive period gives you the option to go on VOW. That's what it looks like. That's what Rob kind of found out in his digging on his Substack, is that you can go VOW. If you can go VOW, you can go on compass.com, you can go on yourbrokerage.com, whatever it may be. You can do office exclusives. And if you can do office exclusives, clear cooperation doesn't exist. So don't say that it does with a small tweak.
Yeah.
Just call it what it is. Sellers have basically full options now. All right. We had another big deal in real estate, and it was Rocket Companies once again doing an all stock deal, this time spending $9.4 billion with a B, to acquire Mr. Cooper. Maybe you never heard of Mr. Cooper, but Mr. Cooper is a mega deal, okay? It's a lending and servicing giant, and it oversees $2.1 trillion. Oh, no, this will create a $2.1 trillion loan volume. It'll serve nearly 10 million clients in this relationship between Rocket and Mr. Cooper. Roughly 1 in every 6 mortgages they're going to have their hand in. It's a 35% premium on Mr. Cooper's 30-day volume weighted average price on the stock market. They were a publicly traded company. It's an all-stock deal. So those shares are going to be valued at $143. Rocket shareholders will control 75% of the company. Mr. Cooper shareholders will get 25%. That's on the ownership structure. And you have a massive market share now. There's a tech and AI integration. Mr. Cooper's robust servicing operation. So they service loans.
Yeah.
Combined with Rocket's AI-driven platform means enhanced automation, personalization, and cost savings. If we could play the Rocket CEO's comments on Squawk Box and just listen to that real quick, and then we'll react to the ramifications of this deal.
Our vision is simple. We want to build an integrated home ownership platform that goes from search to origination to servicing. Our big realization is that these are all connected parts of the same ecosystem. And if we can integrate them, we can ultimately create more value for the consumer, and we can create a more frictionless and seamless experience around home ownership. And so that's really our strategy. And, these deals are directly in service of that strategy.
You know what I'm thinking? I couldn't sleep last night, and he would put me
Great voice.
right to bed.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's everybody take now before they go to bed? Calcium? You wouldn't have to do that.
night. No, magnesium.
Magnesium.
Yeah.
Calcium? Do you not take calcium?
I think calcium helps absorption of the magnesium.
Oh, you got to take them both.
Yeah.
All right. So what did he say there? Search.
I was like,
To-
I couldn't even listen. I couldn't even
I'll
hear
break
him.
it down for you.
Thank you.
Search.
Yes.
To origination.
Yep.
To servicing. All
Yeah.
in one place. Let's take a little ride back about 3+ years ago to February 10th, 2022. There's an article in HousingWire. They were talking about this before this, but I wanted to go back as far as I could to some Rich Barton commentary. Quote unquote. Rich Barton, former CEO of Zillow, still on the board. Jeremy Waxman, now obviously CEO. Quote, "We are focused on building the Housing Super App, an integrated digital experience in which Zillow connects all the fragmented pieces of the moving process and brings them together in one transaction platform. The Housing Super App, according to investor slides filed with the SEC, will provide mortgage approval, immersive shopping, that's search, facilitate in-person touring, and the home financing." So they're competing now, Rocket and Zillow. And Rocket, in order to compete, has just spent
Money.
almost $12 billion, over $11 billion
Money.
between two acquisitions to compete directly with Zillow. Zillow will need to respond. Zillow will be on the hunt, in my opinion. No inside information on this, but I want to do one of those like recall clips when I'm like told you,
when
like,
you're right.
They'll be
That's the only reason we sit
the
here.
only reason we do pods.
Because we want to say things. Well, you want to say things that you can then look back on and be like, I was right.
So I can do another Gary V style black and white before and after. You know, they're going to be looking for a Loan Depot. They're going to be looking for a big 5 to 10. Maybe I'll even say they'll be looking for a $2 to $10 billion mortgage acquisition to be able to compete. Now, they're only a $10 billion market cap, so those higher end deals are going to get tricky to swallow. But a $2 or a $5 billion deal, I think they certainly could swallow. And so, Zillow
Juicy.
now.
Let's go. You said acquisitions. It's almost like some of these acquisitions are maybe going to be causing other acquisitions.
Let me just market cap $15 billion. So they're a little bit more than 10, but so they might be able to swallow a $10 billion company. They're at 14.47 right now as recording this pod on the market cap. Stock's been down over the last month, so that's not going to help acquisitions for sure. They're about $20 down from their peak, which was within, the last couple of months. So I think that's going to happen. And what I know should be on the top of every agent's list is to stop running your entire business in your inbox and your text messages.
Okay.
Like it is going to become expected to have that whole experience living, somewhere where I can see all the functions. Like, why do I have to go into one text and email thread to get all my attorney documents, one text and thread to get into all my lending documents, one text and email thread to get all my home shopping documents?
Yeah.
Why do I want to, if I'm the consumer, why do I want to go to 3 places?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like having 3 different bank accounts. It's brutal.
It is.
You got to move money here and then there, and then which one is, and then do they have enough money in them before they take the payment out? Yeah.
There's a lot going on to begin with.
And there's a lot going on in life to begin with too, where it's like anything that can be like squooshed, I'm all for it.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why we're working with Mosaic. Well, I'm sure we'll have a link down below, Mosaic. But if you're not going to just go and work for Rocket or work for, like, you've got to have your own solution for your customers and at least start planning ahead in that respect. Because I do think when we see data from customers that want to set up home tours with one press of the button, and then they like having everything in one place, like that market share of customers that want that experience grows, doesn't shrink. So,
Of course.
They're saying the same thing. It's the Super App experience. None of the brokerages have been able to do this. I think the brokerages that figure that out are going to be really smart and really lean into that technology for their customers are going to be smart. But at the agent level, make sure that, one, you know all of these app experiences because your customers might be in the Zillow Super App world.
Yeah.
And if you've never tested it, been in it, don't know it, that's a weird place to be. Like, I know more about the Super App than you do. Maybe I'll just use those Super App experience. You don't even know about it. You can't explain. Know about these apps, be in those worlds, and then create solutions, obviously, that are going to make sense for your business. All right. That was a lot.
That was a lot
to get through there.
And we went over our time.
Nicole?
Yeah.
Good to be up here.
I love
in
when you're
CT
here.
with you.
Yeah.
To do 360 of these, and we'll do it virtually next week probably.
It's a shame.
All right.
Maybe I'll take a trip down.
Take a trip down. We might be celebrating soon anyway.
Might be.
So Nicole has got some big news.
Do we want to jinx that?
We've had this project as long as we've had this pod.
Of course we have. We got the project right when we started the team, which is right when you made me sit down in your mom's basement starting to record these. You're like, come on up, let's record. And I was like, okie dokie. And it's been like that ever since.
We've had this new development project. Nicole just put
the last unit under contract yesterday.
Very, very, very luxury price point for the market in which it sits. Created a new market. Developer. Shout out to Kenny.
It's kind of like you don't think it's bittersweet, and he's like, good riddance. I'm kind of like,
I don't think it's bittersweet. I just think it's sweet.
I think it's great.
Closing out
I just
that
like
project.
what if I'm gonna miss just like I think I know that
So
place
so I
better
didn't-
than my own home.
So Kenny said good
riddance.
goodbye.
Good
Let's
riddance.
go. Let's move on to the next deal.
Good riddance.
Developer says
Yeah.
let's move on.
Let's go.
He's been very listen, it took a lot of guts to pull off what he pulled off. And you're saying bittersweet. So we're all on 3 different pages there.
We are. I'm very happy. I'm gonna miss my people over there.
All right, when it officially closes, we'll pop a bottle
It's May, the middle of May.
of champagne.
Will you be back up here for good?
I'll be back up for good in June, but
Okay.
But we'll pop a bottle of bubbly for that. Congratulations.
You too.
Let's keep them going. And
Yeah.
congratulations to everybody out there. Hope you're having a great spring. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the industry news. Obviously, how your spring market's going. And hope to see you in BAMX soon. Until next time, keep it real.
See you guys.